Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to what may well be the final episode of this game of Endless Legend. To be perfectly honest, it may take us more than one episode to get the science victory. My concern is that we're going to get to that first tech and Red's going to immediately devour us. Could happen. It might happen. Thus far, we have basically been adrift in the sheltered bay of our insignificance. Mostly, people have not thought we were worth fighting. That continues, right? Red is not concerned about us. Red thinks Purple is weak due to Purple's war with Blue, and they think they can get a lot more value by devouring Purple than they can by devouring us, which is just objectively true, right? Look at all this land. But at some point, we're going to trip people's notice. At the very latest, that will be when we finish the first victory attack. When that happens, we have to have military units. We have to have a functional military. So, let's start talking about functional military now that we have a little bit more military tech and we're working on even more. First of all, it is time to equip our hero with an actual real weapon. Now that we have these tier 2s. So 83 attack, 48 damage. Obviously, quite a bit better than quote-unquote a legendary glass steel. Out of curiosity, how does this quest shield compare to our other options? 22 defense, 30% defense, 25% health. Okay, well, I like attack, generally speaking, as a stat, a lot better than defense, but that really is a lot better. Yeah, man, that really is a lot better than the other shields we have access to. Holy crap. Okay, sure, I'll keep it on. That's a lot of health and defense. We are bringing in 4 and 2.8. So we want to try to make weapons for our troops out of adamantium, probably, to benefit from the our higher rate of gain on that. So we'll make the hero weapon out of palladium, so that he doesn't, we're not getting in the way of our troop stuff. So we are 83 attack, 15 initiative, 48 defense, or 48 attack. I mean, he's looking very formidable now, right? Like, this is an actual dangerous unit. Now we got to fix up our... That's the wrong button. They both have hands on them. How's anybody supposed to keep that straight? Alright, let's talk about upgrading you guys. Do I want to go up to the better helmets? Yeah, I probably do. A little bit of attack loss is a shame, but it really is a lot more survivability. We have 2 different trinkets that we could equip them with now. 35% health and attack, I think, is worse than the Order of a Severe. It does give Dark Proof, which I believe just makes them immune to stat and movement. Oh, not even stat penalties, just movement and vision penalties from Winter. We definitely want to keep the Order of a Severe on then. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about with stat penalties from Winter, there are no stat penalties from Winter by default, but sometimes you get one of those Winter effects. It's like minus 30% attack on ranged units or whatever. So I think we probably want to stay away from using strategics in the armor. Because if we're pumping out guys holding the order, then we're already straining our supplies here. We are, at this point, at least producing more glass, steel, and titanium per turn than it takes to give one unit that thing. And then, if we're talking about going for strategic weapons, we're probably going to have to go with one-handed crossbows and dust shields. And again, this is just down to not having the resource income rate necessary to support full longbows. I would rather have the longbow, but 17 adamantium per troop is just that's not feasible. We can't work that. They look pretty cool now. And the stats are okay. Also, they have regeneration too, which is nice, plus 4 life per level at the end of each round of combat. So at this point, we produce level 5 troops, so every one of our troops is healing for 20 every round. That's pretty significant as long as they, don't get killed all in one go. So if we're talking about retrofits, that's a pretty expensive retrofit. It's doable, though. We'll just wait a turn or two. We don't have any spare troops to sell, do we? Nope. They've been vigilant about keeping that from us. Well, when we convert this village, we'll get one. And we'll, in a couple of turns, we'll have the dust to do it anyway. If we're thinking about declaring war on green, let's just have a quick look into their territory. So what do we see here? Morinlock has something in its garrison besides just the militia. Also, they definitely have some fortification technology. We're seeing units... 536 health, 143 defense. Not really great offensive stats, but a lot of health. These Harmonites are actually fairly dangerous. What about Matanch? We can see into Matanch. What is the story here? Well, part of the story here is that they are producing 4 military units this turn, as well as a canal system and aura of Empire and borough streets. Okay, you can see they popped a stockpile here. Medical center, 5, 6. So 6 military units this turn. Their designs are not fantastic. These are definitely low strategic troops. Or maybe no strategics at all, frankly. But they really are pumping out a lot of dudes. My suspicion here is that they're concerned about red. Red is only at war with purple, right? Yeah, purple's still at war with red and blue. They are not doing well in the war with blue, which is, I assume, why red jumped in. Red saw them getting weaker and decided that they could carve off a piece. Very much like what we did to pink, except they're probably going to get a little bit more of a piece. Well, green's not at war with anybody. So he's massing up troops because he fears red, but unfortunately, even if he does get the upper hand, unfortunately for him, even if he does get the upper hand, he can never instigate. That's a little bit bad for us, because it means that we're less likely to be able to take green on. The more troops he builds for the purposes of defense, the better defended he will be, it turns out. So, us running over and grabbing some cities off of him to steal the, to get those sweet stockpiles might turn out not to be feasible. You know, we may have to just build troops for our own defense. I'm definitely worried. Alright, we also have to talk about exactly how we want to line up our people here. Naively, it seems right to be just like, well, we're trying to get science. Let's have everybody focused on science. And we do have these bonuses, and all of the bonuses are, you know, a lot of our bonuses are percentage-based, and thus we're getting more value out of the bonus by having everybody on science. I'm not 100% certain whether it would be worthwhile to bump everybody to industry for a turn or two to make sure we get our Arts Council done, or like... I don't have a good sense of the math here, unfortunately. The amount of science that we give up by moving... Like, if we moved everybody over to industry, we'd get the Shrine this turn. The Arts Council we would not get, but we're producing 1,250 industry. There's little to nothing left on this. 500 of it gets shunted into the Shrine of Whispers. And then we're... excuse me, we're looking at like 700 going into the Arts Council. And then we pull everybody back. And the Arts Council finishes 2 turns later, maybe? And in that time, we lose 3,000 science. 3,300 science. That's rough, man. That is tough. The correct solution here is go get some industry stockpiles. I just don't know how to do it. If we were to declare war on green, we would lose our fortresses probably, because we know green has a navy. I don't know where they are. Maybe they don't have a navy anymore. Because blue and green's units can fight in our sea region, so it's possible that blue has eradicated green's navy. But even just like some dudes in some transport ships can take an empty fortress. So we'd have to get pretty mobile here. If we wipe them out, it doesn't matter so much, but like even if they break control of our regions for even a moment, then blue can start scooping up fortresses without declaring war on us. Yeah, I don't love that idea. We would have to get a peace treaty immediately. We would have to declare war, swoop in, steal a city, and then get a peace treaty like immediately afterward. Being at war with them for any extended time is going to cost us a lot. That said, if we were able to do that, if we did like swoop in, kill a bunch of guys, take Matanch, get 15 industry and science stockpiles, and then get peace very shortly afterward. That would be awfully powerful. Alright, so you guys are about as far forward as you can afford to be, and you guys are sitting right where you need to be. This is going to help a lot with the science. It's actually going to help a lot with everything, though. Like, it will make moving people over to industry a little bit more feasible. A little bit more sensible, perhaps is the way I should put that, because it's already very feasible. All you have to do is, like, click and drag. Oh, hey, there's actually a guy in that village. A guy who's kind of hard to see because he's underneath Chaka's nameplate. Well, all of a sudden, I'm only getting 20 dust per turn? What is the cause of that? The hydromials run out. Yeah, that would explain it. The Givers of Remembrance remember well the last war. They also remember well not to trust you. He is unafraid, based on the strength of his navy. I would say that that is a reasonable thing on his part. So, let's get plus 15 damage on all the units in the army. That's a pretty important hero skill. Yeah, he should not trust us, and he should not be afraid of us. Those are both very sensible positions for him to be holding right now. Well, is this the point where we start taking tools to the enemy? Do I need the last level of Proselytizer? Dust might be more important to us than influence at this point. Alright, somebody else was the first person to get a city to 800 fortification. Not really relevant to us. So they've left Matanch empty. Except that they are constantly building units in it. Running a lot of stuff around. Like, a lot of their units are not very impressive statistically, but there's something to be said for numerousness. So let's jump these Harmonites out now that we have the ability to hold more units in an army. Jump the Harmonite out and throw them into the army over here. So now we're at 5883 science coming out of the city. And we produce more industry from being on industry. I mean, it's probably worth pushing on this pretty hard. This will get it almost done. It looks to me like we have maybe like in the neighborhood of 200 to 250 industry left on this. So we will only have one turn of build time left on the Arts Council probably if we do this, even if we pull people off of industry afterward. Also, push that to a one turn. Alright. Let's do that for one turn. We're gonna just press into that bonus as hard as we can here. Definitely want to finish the retrofitting. Now, our Harmonites are not as updated. They're still pretty scary, though. There is little doubt in my mind that we could just run down here and take Matanch. My concern is what would happen next. We would have to fight through this Dervish and this Justiciar and Istros Watcher Fire Spike to get it, though. He only has 56 damage. That's weird. It's weird that he was able to get up to 149 attack with only 56 damage. You would expect a weapon that would boost his attack like that would also give him some damage. Alright, we're still making pretty good money off of just selling our excess units. What was the influence cost of this? 400 something? 440? Now remember, the war will cost us. The declaration has a cost, as does deploying some kind of ability from Serial Astra. My feeling on this is that I would prefer to decrease morale. We probably don't need to crash the fortification in the city. Excuse me. Given how weak it is. So right now it would be a 2-point morale reduction for 6 turns. That's powerful. There's minus 30% attack and defense on all of their units for 6 turns. That could be the duration of the war. What I really wish is that the necrophages would declare war on green. Or each other. Either one of those things would be really useful to me. Because what I want to do here is engage in mutual war or proxy war. That's the best way to take advantage of our current situation. But because some of the players are immune to diplomacy and the other players can't declare war, we found ourselves in a really unusual position diplomatically. This is not how it usually goes. So he's got 4 units over here, no hero. Plus another 4 non-militia units in the garrison, we have to assume. He does have a hero in the city, and the hero in the city has some okay stats. Very fast movement. Hard to keep it out of the archers. Alright, what was that guy's initiative? 103? Everybody has a lot of initiative, I feel like. We are way behind on that. Some of that's level. Some of that's potentially them having different gear equipped. Taking their initiative trinkets and stuff more seriously. I mean, we even have Army Initiative Boost 2 here. It's also the case... Oh, hey, we got access to another equipment slot. It's also the case that a lot of units just have a higher base initiative than ours do. Well, we could go for a regeneration trinket. That's not amazing. High Ground 3 will increase the amount of bonus attack we get out of attacking from high ground, she may have guessed. I could go for a personal improved initiative trinket here. That'll get us up to 90. It's probably not enough to actually matter. Personal improved damage takes us to 172, which is terrifying. Yeah, I'm inclined to do that. I know titanium is our weak resource. We still actually need a whole bunch of it. I guess we're also short things that are actually hard to get. What would be the cost of the declaration? Okay, if you're wondering why it's kind of high, it's because we re-pieced with them recently. It's not a trivial cost. Well, I mean, it's only like a turn and a quarter, but still. Not totally trivial. That's right, I remember this. I was trying to get over into Blue's territory. Okay, we can get in the fog here. We are stealthed for the moment. We just have to get close enough to their city to see it. Hey, look at that. They built themselves a great big reliquary of Auriga out here. Blue's doing pretty well economically, it seems like. I mean, I'll tell you what, I really don't want to end up at war with these necrophages. I'm not looking forward to the moment when that becomes unavoidable. You guys are good. You are just headed back to these sea ruins, right? Don't see much else to do here. That fire ship can't attack us because we're at peace with purple for the moment. Yeah, definitely nervous. And we really do have to get a lot of this science stuff done before we can start pumping out troops. Like, if we're going to have any chance of actually making the science victory happen, we have to be deep in. Which means that we're not building more units, which means that we're not getting stronger, which means that I am still nervous. Alright, the Arts Council should be done enough that when we move everybody off of industry here, we still have it in 1, right? Yeah, okay, easy. 6236, we're getting there. That value is starting to look okay. And hey, we did it. 40 die. Make sure you have 2 preachers of at least level 6 and a cultist hero of at least level 9 to gain all beings are siblings. That would be useful to have. Wouldn't be totally amazing, but it would be useful. 2 preachers of at least level 6 is something we can just wait a little bit on. Because once we enter Era 6, any unit we build will be level 6 when it comes out. So once we get to Era 6, we can just build 2 preachers really quickly and then have that finished. And that will be good for our military units. Okay, we can stay in the fog if we're careful. But we cannot get vision of the city from within the fog. Why can't I... I can't see the... I guess you have to see the city center to get the tag. Well, this is not great. Because we know there are ships right there. We need to have the money to buy the hero anyway. I'd love to run another hydromiel booster. But yeah, I know we're not going to produce it fast enough to keep the booster running on our own, and unfortunately there's none on the market. And even if there was, we don't have any dust. Although, that's solvable. We could have dust. You know what else would be really good, actually, is gold. A gold booster at this point in the game would be pretty alright. Okay, let's get this village converted. Sell this guy. Extra point of population in the city is definitely valuable. In a second here, we're going to have Signal Corps. We're going to be able to... Probably what I need to do is build some more archers. We could also create a boast design now that we have the centaurs. I'm not, I think, going to go back to Silix. I think we want to stay on the centaurs. So we probably ought to be able to build some of these. I would definitely want to make their weapons out of Palladian, so as not to step on the adamantian weapons of the archers. Let's say we do, like... They have access to one-handed axes and spears? The axes give them range slayer, the spears make them anti-cavalry. If we're going up against just the Broken Lords, we're definitely going to see a lot of cavalry. Or the Broken Lords, the roving clans. If we're up against the necrophages, it's going to come down a lot to their assimilated troops. Because the necrophages do not rely heavily on cavalry or ranged units out of their basic lineup. So I suppose we just go axes, because it's easier on our resources. And then you do not get access to the fancy trinkets. We could give them like regeneration plus improved personal life. That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. We really have to get through these science buildings first, though. And honestly, those burrow streets are pretty valuable as well. It's going to be winter any moment now, and I think we would rather fight during the winter, actually. So we can see Matanch is gaining fortification, but it's not actually gaining troops. He's building a ton of units every turn, and we don't know where they're going. Can we have a quick look at relative military strengths? So purple's being held down, green is going up, they're still not anywhere near us. Obviously, red is doing the thing that necrophages do. Just fighting is making his army stronger. Yeah, purple finally lost another region. Purple's units are going to be individually vastly superior to the necrophages due to Techno-Lover. So probably what's happening here is purple is running small but very elite units, and they're able to defend but not actually make any forward progress against the necrophages, which means that whenever they make any kind of mistake or misjudge anything, they lose ground that they can never regain. So when we have Signal Corps, we don't actually have troops ready to come in and fill those other two slots. It would cost $27.44 for us to buy out these units. We don't have luxuries that are worth anywhere near that, right? And there's no reason to hold on to all this pixie blood, I suppose. Except for trade. We could try to trade for the Hyperion that we're missing, get it in a little faster, or we can check them for stockpiles since we know that they occasionally make stockpiles. We should also make sure we're actually checking the market for those. Okay, no great spies. We have a guy with spying 2, and that's it, right? Yeah, they're all just spying 2. Well, that is a shame. I mean, the spy that we'd put in Blue's territory would probably be slow enough to accumulate infiltration that he won't be particularly useful as a spy no matter what. It's mostly about letting us see where Blue is on the board. And I'm going to go reconvert that village as well. Oh, we got ourselves rare alloys. That's not great. Yeah, we won't make any use of that at all. I suppose it is good in the sense that it's an extra tech, so it gets us a little closer to the thing we're doing. After we get these two, we're only going to need one more technology to jump up into the final era. So yeah, actually, in that sense, finding a technology is quite good. Any technology, it doesn't have to do anything at all. So we're not actually going to get any stronger when Signal Corps finishes. Do I want to just go now? I think that's a huge amount of resources. And we can take them. We can take them. I can't go now. I don't have the influence. I could go next turn. This is down to 264, so no, probably in order to go next turn I'd have to devote a couple of people to diplomacy, or to influence. I could though, I could do that. 264, so that gets us there. Yeah, alright. Let's see what happens. Also, what am I going to do with you guys? What use do you have now that that is converted? None really, right? I guess just like being down here ready to grab pearls. Okay, you can't quite make it over to that other ruin on your turn. That's fine. Alright, let's see what green looks like in a second here. Yeah, my real concern is, again, not taking the city, but rather what we're going to do afterward. Because they have a lot of units, and we know they have a lot of units. We don't know where they are, what they're doing, but it is very reasonable to assume that if we went after Matanch, they would come for us. He's actually hitting his unit cap in the city. He's producing units too quickly to actually take advantage of all of them. What a problem to have. Alright, Takari Mu has reached infiltration level 4. I don't think it helps us to hurt purple. In fact, one way we could get around the cost of our the cost of buying another hero is just have Takari Mu be the one that we put into the blue city. I don't know that we need to be spying on purple anymore. I'm not sure that it's ever going to be the case that we want to. Yeah, I can't get vision of this from anywhere. We'll have to get up here, which we can do next turn. And this obviously this Justice here is just going to die, but it would be really cool if we could get vision of that city first. Okay. We conquer Matanch, we can run Khazar over there with his level 7 Urkin Lice. Yeah, he is powerful. If we burn Matanch, we can jump our Urkin over here. He can help us fight the other troops. They are now keeping actual units in their garrisons. They're producing units at level 10, which means that they have like a lot of those XP producing buildings. Oh, maybe not. How else would you make units at level 10, though? Because it kind of looks like they don't have any of the buildings to produce extra unit XP when units are built. You know, that might be a difficulty level thing. It may be the case that they get some passive extra XP on builds. I'm actually not sure. Aid system in 2, and then one more technology, which will almost certainly just be some low-level garbage, like pillage or something. Pillage actually is not bad. Now, it would probably be better for it to be aquaplavistics, although it's about to be winter, and it probably will be winter for most of the rest of the game. So sure, pillage. And Mitanche jumped up to 500 fortification. If it were just down to its militia, it would still be conquerable. But honestly, I don't know that it was ever right to attack because of the counterattack. Remember, if like an enemy army gets over to our city and puts it under siege, our entire empire is under siege. We lose a huge, huge amount of resources. So you really have to, if you're going to war with somebody who is actually adjacent to you as cultists, it has to be decisive. Like, very immediately decisive. Well, let's just keep pressing forward on our research. We know where we're going. And hope that the AI deal with each other in a way that opens it up, opens up a lane of opportunity for us. We're going to start building some military units pretty soon. We do want the dust transmuter. Yeah. I was really hoping that people would end up at war with green. I was really hoping one of the necrophages would decide that it was worthwhile to attack green. They seem to be very busy. So busy, in fact, that they're not done with their turns yet. Not sure. I mean, I assume there's a lot of battle going on. They have a lot of armies to manage. Boy, they really are taking their sweet time, huh? So we can look in here and see what's going on with red stuff. So they have some pretty advanced technology. They're able to build the living lab tools. If they went for a science victory, I don't know if we wouldn't beat them, right? Didn't we find out on the scoreboard that they have way more science output than we do? No, they totally don't anymore. Green's been doing some okay work on that front. So assuming they're not currently researching the first victory attack, we are in position to beat everybody to a science victory. It's just a matter of surviving when everybody realizes that we are in position to beat everybody to a science victory. Also, I wonder if this is bugged. Sometimes this happens in the late game where an AI turn gets very extremely long. Usually, when it has happened in the past, it has been due to there just being a ton of armies and battles to resolve. And we can see that Marion doesn't even have anything in its queue here. So purple's like really not done with their turn. Well, on the one hand, I'm glad that I was not the one holding everybody up. Oh, hey look, it's all of the red units. Let's get on land as soon as possible at the beginning of next turn. I believe it is the case that I will not be able to... If I save a game right now, it won't be loadable. So we might have to load the autosave from the beginning of the turn. Sometimes they get stuck, and this seems to fix it. And we're not really losing any decision-making progress here, because we haven't done anything over the last turn. Mostly just sitting around and watching all the numbers go up. And I do love to watch all the numbers go up. But this is a harrowing position nonetheless. If we could actually see into Purple's territory, I bet what we would find is that there are like dozens of necrophage armies between the two players. And that is probably the holdup. Unfortunately, that does not necessarily mean that this won't happen again. It's entirely possible that we will just be a little stuck here. If that happens, I'm sure it is fixable. Probably not by me, but I know I know some people who might be able to fix it. So if we're like one turn away, like I don't know exactly how much Aqua Pulvistics is going to cost us at this point, but I bet it's not more than 2 turns of research. Being an Arrow 1 tech and everything. So we're very close to beginning the research on Difference Engine. It's probably going to be slow going. Okay, see, this is different. Alright, we're going to just sail around this way. We are going to get vision of that tile. It's going to happen. You're just going to get on land. Yeah, I wonder if the problem was that like Blue's brain got stuck or something. It also might have been that Green's brain got stuck because look, they're doing things a little bit differently now than they were. Hi. You don't need to worry about me. I'm certainly not a threat. They have a lot of units over there. Probably what they're doing is just trying to shore up distant garrisons. I'm going to let them exhaust all of their movement. Well, we could certainly attack Green in such a way as to not get any of these troops as reinforcements, right? We have enough movement that we could like attack this tile from this side. And then it would just be Mitange plus these guys. These guys have bad stats, but they do have 500 points of fortification to work with. And make it tricky to actually win that battle. Yeah, and their militia are pretty leveled up. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure that it was ever correct to attack them. It's entirely possible, and I would go so far as to say even pretty likely, that the counterpunch would have been more than we could handle. So right now, this is looking like a whole lot of turns to produce these nameless guards. It probably can't be that long. We have to make it happen a little faster. So right now, the apparent cost of this is 57.51. Remember, it will be higher because the cost of every research goes up every time you finish attack, but it won't be too much higher. So we probably will get it in 1 turn after Brigade System is finished. Is Aqua Pulvistics right? Like, how different is the tech cost? 7,000. Wow, the tech cost is actually pretty different. I was just thinking that, like, maybe aquacultural science ends up being better, but it's also a lot more research. Still, it definitely is better, without a question. You know, let's just finish Brigade System and then worry about it. And when you reload the game, all of the AIs sort of consider their position anew. So I'm just kind of curious if any new wars came about. Nope. Nothing is actually different. Alright, let's see if we can actually get the game to go forward here this time. We definitely... Okay, yeah. It flipped over to 109. We definitely saw people make different moves. Yeah, it seems to be a phenomenon that only occurs really late in the game, and I think it's just having too much stuff to consider. They get into a weird hang somewhere. You guys need to get up here and reconvert that village. I see that there is a red siege of Aldanesh. How unfortunate for purple. I think purple's probably going to find themselves out of the game pretty soon. I think the snowball has begun. They're losing ground really quickly. They do have some very impressive fortifications, though, I'll say that. 517 influence to wake that city back up, and then red could destroy it again, potentially at any moment. And green's not actually threatening a victory, right? It's just that they have gotten large now. They are 23% of the way toward a diplomatic victory. They are starting to produce an awful lot of money. Ugh. Yeah, that's grim. That's pretty bad. And at this point, if we were to attack them, we could, in fact, just drop the fortifications in the city now. Now that looks like a much more reasonable option. At level 4, it completely obliterates the fortification. At level 5, it obliterates the fortification and prevents it from recovering, which is, in my opinion, overkill. I've never seen a case where I needed to do that. Let's see if we can get... Can I please get vision of the city? Okay. I need more information than spying. It's... Takari Mu is the one who is spying on purple. We can, I think, afford to pull them. Alright, and then you should run away as fast as you possibly can. So now that we have blue on the boards, let's have a quick look at... Okay, their score is very high. Their science output is not a challenge to us. They actually are at 12% of an economic victory, which is pretty wild. It's a lot of dust that they've produced there. Yeah, I need somebody to declare war on green. You know, when the first notification that green is approaching the economic victory occurs, red will probably turn around and attack them. That's why they're building up right now. And when that occurs, we can maybe make some headway. They're not just going to be allowed to win the game in the same way that I'm not just going to be allowed to win the game. So do we want to move Khazar? We move Khazar to the far end of Enel. Then I believe that will make our villages here unattackable without removing the Urkin first, which red probably will not bother to do, or even realize is a possibility. So we can get this village back and probably hold it, and I don't... It's possible that blue's armies will get far enough into this region to destroy the villages, but probably not, right? You guys stay there because you're gathering pearls. You stay there. You stay there. Alright. Brigade system is up. 20% extra defense on all our units. We're working on that relatively important borough. Kind of important. Maybe. Sort of important, maybe. At some point here, red is going to pull the cork on this, and a bunch of stuff is going to happen really quick, really violently, and in quick succession. The Dust Orchid has come to an end, which is a real shame. We'll see about fixing that, though. So 7 units, huh? Units that do not have great stats. This Kasai is pretty dangerous. I mean, it does only have 87 base damage. Your damage does cap the effectiveness of your attack. Yeah, if we were to just crush the fortifications and blow up Matanch... It's something we want to wait on, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this Justicier's death would not really be any more than a very mild inconvenience to us. So we need to figure out if we can get the Dust Orchid rolling again. We have no natural Dust Orchid. There's only 5 on the market. Green was the one who had a bunch last time, right? I need 15 of your Dust Orchid. That looks gettable. Maybe not. They don't want any of our resources. We only have 1 tech that they're interested in. I mean, I'm not worried about them technologically. I think that the value of us having the Dust Orchid is considerable. And if anything, speeding up their progress toward their victory condition is probably a good thing. So let's I guess we'll do like some of the palladium and some of the glass steel. I don't want to do all of either, but if we go for like, let's say 40 glass steel and figure out what the lowest value here is. Us coughing up scientific specialization is going to feel to them like a big win, I think, but I don't know that it changes the situation very much on the ground, and it gives us our booster. And there's enough hydromiel for us to get the hydromiel active again as well. This definitely pays for itself. They have a lot of really badly damaged units. Do they have lava in their territory? No, it doesn't look like it. Because the AI is not always great about lava. You might have noticed these ships sitting here, they're regenning to full health every turn, but then they're taking lava damage again. So I would not say that the damage they're taking is, like, super meaningful. Do we want to pop these two units? I guess we could just throw them in the army, make the army bigger. And actually, at this point, Greenblade needs the passive XP more than Andom does. They're still units. Well, there's some chance that putting the Drider in the army is going to end up being a bad thing because of its borderline psychopathic desire to encase people in webs. We'll just have to hope it doesn't turn out to be a big problem. So now that we have that running, like, would we get aquacultural science in 1? We would. It's definitely the better tech. Although again, like, how much summer is going to be left in the game? This summer has been as long as it was literally, like, as long as it was possible for it to be, which sucks. Are we better off grabbing, like, lumber mill for the apprenticeship registry, maybe? We do have a lot of terrain. I just want it to be something really quick. Yeah, you know what? Let's grab management sciences. We'll get our lumber mill and apprenticeship registry built very quickly, and they'll actually provide a meaningful amount of industry. And here comes the winter, which is going to increase the defense of infantry and lower the defense of cavalry. And this typo has been in the game forever, and they're never going to fix it. That's actually probably okay for us. We have some infantry. Their forces are definitely going to have a significant amount of cavalry. Yeah, that's fine. That's a fine winter effect. We haven't really had the pearls to devote to messing with the winter too much anyway. We've been really strained on pearls. So let's make sure our ship is actually moving out of enemy territory as quickly as possible here. Green would get extremely mad at us if we were to take their pearls in this position, but they will absolutely take our pearls without even thinking about it. Go and grab these as quickly as we can. Do we see any large deposits anywhere that we should try to get? That's only 2, and we won't get them no matter what. Oh, they're not stealing them. Wild. Titan Bones ended. All of these are useful. It'd be really cool if they were not done. We'll try to fix those. Units are gaining levels. Stuff is getting built. So our city's way more productive now, thanks to the level 2 Winter Burrow. And level 2, level 2, level 2. So yeah, if we build one more burrow, this will jump up to level 3. I think that's a thing that we ought to prioritize. Put it right there. Get ourselves quite a bit of extra resources. And an extremely relevant burrow level. Also, could run up and grab these pearls real quick. It is 2 pearls. It's like we're trying to get to 30, right? 30 is a tall order. You can definitely get some this turn. I don't really want Khazar to get up and... Okay, he can get up and run to there and then run back. And that'll give us enough pearls to make our city very difficult to successfully siege. That was pretty good, actually. Let's get the Ward of Ariga in the queue, and this might be another one of those things where it's worth it to bump everybody over to influence or to industry for a second, because that borough's really valuable. All this stuff is really valuable, actually. Over here, grab those. At this point, we're just grabbing pearls as a negotiating tactic. We can give people these pearls. So green is running units through my territory. And they sure look like they're mobilizing. Nope. Wait a minute. Oh, I saw the Blood Brothers thing on purple. I was like, really? Does purple actually like us now? But no, it's because I was viewing their situation from green's perspective. They are still leery of us. You know, I understand why green and pink were leery of me. I don't think purple should be. I didn't kill a bunch of purple settlers. Alright, so let's try to get these running again. The red saying, I guess, is a little bit less important. The moonleaf is, like, extremely important, though. So obviously we are going in for the difference engine now. That says 52 turns. That's not acceptable. Oh, right, because none of our people are on science. That has an effect. So we need 7 more moonleaf. I'm going to go on a limb here and assume there's not 7 moonleaf on the market. There's also not actually... Oh, there are exactly enough spices for us to boost into a spice booster, though. That we should do. What else ended? Moonleaf, spices, and red sang. Not a lot of red sang available. Alright, do you have moonleaf? You do. How much am I going to be gouged for it, is the question. I need 7 moonleaf. That's not so bad. It doesn't look like a large bar until I remember that they don't actually want anything we own. We've given them all of the technology that they care about. If I declared war on red, they'd love that. Or blue. Not so much purple. Alright, hey purple, do you have any moonleaf? They have Dust Orchid. Would we have been better off dealing with them for the Dust Orchid? Maybe. Yeah, they value our resources a lot more. Okay. Well, if it comes to it, we know that that's a better way to go on that. We might just have to wait on the moonleaf, unfortunately. I think that might really be the case. Yeah, that sucks. We literally can't get the moonleaf from green. We don't have anything they want. I could buy some stuff that they want if I knew what that stuff was. So nothing moves the bar at all. They don't value pixie blood at all, which is just correct. Pixie blood's terrible, man. Well, what are you going to do? I suppose. Not really a lot of play here. Alright, let's just wait 52 turns. I'm curious what that'll be when we actually get the number fixed. Obviously, it's going to be a lot less, but it still seems like it's going to be really high. I wonder when the first victory notification for the Dust victory triggers, because for the Science victory it triggers... Well, there's a couple of ways you can view that. It triggers after the first tech is finished, which you could look at... Okay, there it is. Where was that? About 30%? Yeah, at 30%. You could look at it triggering after the first tech as it being 20% of the way into the victory, but you could equally validly look at it as being about 95% of the way into that victory. Alright, I think more dust is the way to keep going here. We need to, like, be able to at least think about buying units and stuff. Yeah, God, look at how good our city is during the winter. Winter borough is making... Look at how good our districts are, man. Look at how incredibly powerful each of our district tiles is. So we could get the apprenticeship registry very, very easily. It's a very cheap tech. We could get the lumber mill very easily. We have some tiles with forest on them. Yeah, we're running out of economic moves to make. I suppose we should throw 2 preachers in the queue. Just to get the faction quest thing. And that way when we build those 2 archers, they'll be really high level. Out of curiosity, did anyone declare on green that turn? No. Okay. There may be some repositioning before that happens. We did see an aggressive move over here from blue. Let's hope that keeps occurring. Hey, look at those guys. They're winning. Somebody stop them. Yeah, pearls are one of the few things we can still grab that, like, the enemy will definitely care about in terms of trade. If we don't move our Khazar back over here, we're going to see some bad stuff happen to our villages. We can move him next turn. We have to remember that he is vulnerable, but if we move him, like, over here, maybe they will get bored walking over to him. I'm pretty sure, yeah, he'll be visible. So we'll just have to hope they don't want to fight him. I really don't want to lose population. I'm a little worried about moving him over there and having them take him, though. Yeah, and blue devoured that region off of purple. Also got Jaguarak right away. Aldenish is now red, so purple's out of the game. Purple's dead. We're gonna have our great big Ward of Ariga. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm feeling like winning this game is gonna be extremely difficult. Just the idea of surviving against red is terrifying. And the idea of having to do it against red and blue at the same time, I cannot imagine. Difference engine still looking pretty severe. Now, when we get difference engine, it will double our science output. So it will help with the other very expensive techs. We did it. All beings are in fact siblings. Cool. Now we get the final part of our faction quest, which is reach level 3 with your city center, which we can't do, but that's fine because the Temple of the Earth's Core is not even remotely buildable, and the quest victory is not going to be possible at all. Oh, interesting. That blue army went after our guys in the region instead of the villages. Well, that's actually really great for us. We can just retreat, and then we actually have considerable health regen. It's possible we will be able to just retreat again next turn and narrowly survive the health loss, and then they would probably just attack us again the turn after that. The Necrophages have defeated at least 3 armies led by a hero. Really, just now. Purple not have combat heroes? Possible that they've just been extremely careful with their heroes, but that seems very odd to me. So we do just need to produce Nameless Guard and Centaurs, right? That's all that's left for us, is just make troops as fast as possible. We could continue building burrows, and each one of them will be great, and we're producing population at such a rate that we're going to get to build a lot more. But every burrow we build is troops that we're not building, and we really do need to have a lot of units. We should make at least a couple of Centaurs, so we have something that's not archers. We should keep an eye on Green's territory. What is this? Why is there a roaming army here? That's a weird roaming army. So those are either privateers or part of a quest, maybe? My guess would be that that's a privateer army. We're just going to check back every once in a while here and see what people are doing about green. My guess is something. Something will happen. I do not think that the necrophages are going to just let them win. I have seen firsthand the brutality of the game, of the AI's response to somebody is winning. Hopefully it is not a brutality that is reserved exclusively for the player. We're getting pretty close to having enough money to just buy a unit here. What do the centaurs cost? $27.70? These are $38.09. If you're wondering why the prices went up, it's because we're later in the game now, so they're a higher level. Karimu has reached infiltration level 2. Oh, we're probably looking at decreased morale actions on the necrophages, should that be necessary. Wow, what an incredibly short winter. Only 1 to 4 turns left on this winter. What we really wanted was an eternal winter. It actually sucks incredibly badly for us that we had such a long summer followed by such a short winter. That really hurts. Because we're extremely good at winter now. Oh, technology costs have returned to normal. That's actually lovely. The die booster ran out. Let's reactivate it, and we should have enough. I'll have enough Moonleaf very soon. Oh, stockpile. Gimme. Still actually no Moonleaf on the market. Being attacked in a couple of places. Okay, they're destroying my villages. Oh, blue is attacking Chaka. Well, that's pretty bad. We have no hope of holding Chaka, I assume. 780 health, 176 attack, 106 damage. These are actual units. Now look at the stats on those Battleborn. Yeah, we have no hope of holding Chaka. So this is probably the end of the game then. Without Chaka's bonus to our science, I can't imagine. Like, we're gonna have to retake Chaka to have any chance. That is a thing that could happen. It's possible that they will take Chaka and then not bother to defend him. At least not defend him reasonably. Well, let's do the battle manually and do our best here. They have too many units, there's no way. We're on the reinforcement flags too. Ugh. Well, yeah, I think those are probably the right orders, because this guy's a serious threat and also pretty low on health. Attacking him is definitely the best bang for our buck in terms of reducing their offensive capabilities, but we're not going to get to pick any targets. Oh, actually. No, okay. Yeah, now we got the disease. Yeah, that's a real shame. So we're going to have to hope that they leave him undefended. So we could swoop in and take him back because he's going to be at low health, right? They don't have the big health regen bonus we do, and these guys regenerate pretty slowly on their own, it seems like. And if we take him back, then we got to defend him, like, very seriously. But yeah, this is a method of attack that is extremely effective against us and also doesn't really cost blue anything to do. I was really hoping they were just going to be distracted by purple for long enough, but as their war with purple is winding down, they are finding that they can move their troops elsewhere. He almost survived long enough, too. So we can totally take him back as long as this army is not nearby when we try it. We would get absolutely slaughtered by that army. Oh, for some reason he's still mine? Do I misunderstand how this works? Not only is he still mine, but he... Oh, he's still mine because they didn't actually defeat the army. Because they can't kill the lice. Because they blocked the reinforcement positions. So yeah, his army was not defeated. Well... How are we going to handle this? We certainly can't just let them attack him again. Even with us in reinforcement position, the same thing will happen, where they attack him, and he, because he's backed into the corner, we don't have reinforcements coming in. And even if we did have reinforcements coming in, their units are so much better than mine. So Chaka has to leave. That is certainly the case. But simultaneously, we very much need him to be here. With him gone, we're going to lose 50% science bonus. Well, he can't stay. There's no two ways about this. He needs to be elsewhere, as distantly elsewhere as possible. If he's right here, he's very difficult to attack. Because they can't get up on land anywhere around here except for over there, or like they have to come around to the other side. And if they get up on land over here, they still can't attack him because of the ruins. Yes, they kind of screwed themselves with a bad direction of engagement there. And thank God they did. Without that bonus, we're in trouble. What do we do with these guys? I guess we could go for that sea ruin over there. They don't really have a lot of other value. We could try to bring them home, but it's a long trip across the ocean. Like, if we were to build down to here to try to grab the other very, very good science tiles that are down here. 2 turns on the Burrow Street. It's kind of what I want to be doing here, is just pouring units out, right? We want to fill the garrison, to make sure his army's full of actually good units, not including these terrible mercenaries. And then we want to... just create more armies. We want to flood every tile in this territory with as many troops as we can put on. And every Burrow Street we build cuts into that, but also every Burrow Street we build is a bunch of extra resources. And it's difficult for me to know what the correct path here is. Oh, also, I suppose I should pop the science stockpile. It would take 11 turns to get the difference engine if we had science stockpiles for every one of those turns. At our current rate of research, which includes that stockpile. And that's without the Moonleaf running. And without our 50% science bonus anymore. Now remember that if you're wondering why this number didn't go down by as much as you're expecting, remember it's an additive stacking with our other percentage science bonuses. It wasn't 50% of 5711. It was 50% of whatever our flat science value is. So it's still a lot, though. If we were to take something from green, then we could rebase him over... Like, if we could take Morinlock, maybe? That'd be a tall order. If we did that, we could take... we could bring him back over here. Just out of curiosity. Nope, they still haven't declared on you. They do not consider you to be the primary threat yet. We're going to finish purple off pretty soon. Then they're going to come for us, and I think they will go after green first. But what we might have seen here, this blue army, is blue trying to move into a position to attack green, and we were just a convenient target along the way. If blue, like, is headed over to Horlocken to start stuff, then we're going to see green troops moving up to Horlocken, which means that the green backfield will be a little bit under defended, which means we can make a thing happen down there, maybe. You guys, I don't really know what to do with you. Okay, maybe hide. Maybe hiding is a good idea. It's a scary position for sure, and I expect we're going to lose this village on the next turn. Just got to keep building up money, buying troops. We got to make this military happen as quickly as possible. Very curious to see what blue does here. So what would it cost to just buy out the district? I wonder if that's reasonable, to just build troops, but buy out the districts whenever we can. Green's moving around in a way that suggests that they're concerned. They see blue gaining strength in the local area as well, and then blue just wanders off. Red has 5 level 8 heroes now, so they've gained access to the Breastplate of the Pure for their heroes. It's an impressive piece of gear, I suppose. My villages are... Oh, no. Oh, yeah, the village is under attack. Well, don't help. They'll just die, too. So our population is under attack by blue on the other side of the world. They haven't been taking a lot of aggressive actions against us so far, but also they haven't had any reason to, right? Like, we to this point, have not been a threat. Them waiting this long to start doing this stuff is still going to be perfectly effective. I should probably sail around a little bit more. There are more pearls to be had. Like, attacking us earlier would not have given them a tremendous amount of advantage, and it would have required them to like move troops into positions that were inconvenient. They have a lot of time left to step on us and stop us from winning the game. Like I said, I find playing the cult extremely difficult because you are always behind. In like every way that matters. And that's less true if you're playing base game, where the AI is not so good. You can definitely get ahead of the base AI. The ELCP AI, on the other hand, definitely utilizes their resources in a more effective fashion. Okay, still no stockpiles available, still no Moonleaf available. The Moonleaf... Oh, we're good. Oh, right, because the cost of our boosters went down because our villages got destroyed. Well, I'll take it. So that Moonleaf boost is only a few hundred science at this point, but it's still a few hundred science. Oh, we have the resources for the Climatology Guild. Get that up to the top of the queue. So that's going to be 15 extra science on each level 2 or higher district. Probably want to make that one a little bit of a priority. Although, actually, let's keep as many people on science as we can while getting that to 1 turn. Wow, it really was almost everybody, huh? Is it exactly everyone? It is. We have just enough people to finish that in 1 turn. That's an expensive build. Okay. It's a thing worth doing. So you fled and are now just looking for pearls. Hey, look, we found some. Pearls that we can trade to people, hopefully. Alright, and I think the end of this turn is going to be where we stop for now. We are well and truly embarked on the quest. The situation the world is in is, I think, maybe the most precarious it has ever been. Man. We could have tried sailing our hero army across the ocean to snipe Purple's villages, maybe? Or Purple's last couple of cities. In fact, we still could. Our units move pretty fast, and we have perfectly safe ocean travel. We could even try just trying to catch him off guard with Khazar, who is pretty powerful, right? We could, he can teleport over to near Rondaria. The danger there, of course, is that we lose him. But we can retrofit this archer to be a pretty good troop. That's what this archer should do, is they should run up and have a look at Rondaria. Yeah, and now we have vision of all of the players that matter on the boards here. Blue has a terrifying amount of military strength. Still has a lot of time to crush us. We're gonna have some big battles here at the end where we're desperately trying to hold on. So we actually passed blue in total researches, which is kind of crazy. They really do not care about science. Alright, yeah, like I said, that's going to be it for us for today. Hate to leave you all in suspense, but good news, there's an episode tomorrow. Come back then to see, probably, how this game ends. And we'll see you then.